currently on the Ayre Highway, heading across the Nullabor into Western Australia and Perth. For those who don't know, and I'm sure there wouldn't be too many left who don't, Nullabor is an Aboriginal word for treeless plain, or plain with no trees. I'm here to tell you there's a flaming liar, because there are trees on the Nullabor, and I found one right there. There's your tree. Okay, so if anyone tells you Nullabor stands for treeless plain, gee, tell them they're a flaming liar, because Dave found one. Just entering the Perlubie beach campground. So this is a site that you need to book, which I would have done if I was going to stay here for a few days. Would have been lovely, I think. But as I'm just passing through, I didn't, but we can check it out. Very popular area. You'll see a lot of videos on YouTube about Perlubie. I've never been here before, so let's have a look. So the campground's up from the beach, so we'll just have a quick look at the campground, which is quite spacious. The roads in here are fine. It's just off the main road, by the way, the main highway that goes to Ceduna. So suitable for all types of vehicles. As I say, it's a pay-as-you-camp. There's an amenities block there on the left, rubbish bins, very large. These are all campsites along here. I was worried about it being booked out if I did try to camp, but I couldn't imagine this place being booked out except in peak season. There seems to be many campsites in here. If I was to take a stab at it, I'd say it's probably over 50 or 60. Beautiful day here today, just outside of Streaky Bay in South Australia. There's no breeze, blue skies. It's about 24 degrees at the moment. Don't know about pets in here. You probably have to look at that if you book it. I can't see any. But the main activity here obviously would be the beach, which we'll go have a look at now. So when you come out of the campground, make a left turn, and then another left turn. The beach area is probably another kilometre or so from the campground. So let's go have a look at the beach area. We'll just find a spot to pull over if we can. do a bit more homework on this one. It's a bit confusing, but the beach itself's lovely. The shelters would be a good spot to, you know, just set up for the day, as long as you don't camp in it, and you get shelter. And as an added bonus, if you're short up or you're hard up for a pair of thongs, there's plenty here. It's a long walk to the water in low tide. There are some people out there. Don't know if you can see them in the distance. And there's plenty of room for driving. The sand looks quite firm. I'm obviously not driving on it, but to walk on it, it's quite firm. There's a toilet block just up there off the beach. So that confirms you can't camp within 50 metres of these shelters, which is probably a good idea. That leaves them available for everybody, not just somebody who decides to get here first and camp there. Walk just a bit further down. I'm liking Perlubie Beach. I'll check out the rates, what you pay. I was told that it's a bit difficult sometimes to book this. I'm thinking maybe it's the beach area might be harder to get onto rather than the campground, which is just a kilometre up the road. If you don't like strong winds, I think the campground would be a good choice. It's more sheltered, and down here on the beach, as you know, like any beach, you can get very gusty if it's on the ocean. Excuse me, mate. Are you camped here?
Yeah.
How much is it to camp here?
The cost?
Pardon?
The price, you mean?
Yeah.
I think that is $30.
$30.
Yeah, between 30 and 40, I don't remember.
And you can camp on the beach and up at the campground too, yeah.
But I think that they are different camps.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this one is like, I don't know. I know that they are different. I don't know which is the difference, but I know that you have to book this one online, and the other one you have to book in another site.
Ah, okay. All right.
This one is really nice, to be honest.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. You have a good camp.
Yeah, you have a great.
He was thinking it was about $30 a night to camp on the beach. I paid $20 last night at the RV park in Streaky Bay, and there was really not much there. To pay the extra $10, I think this is probably reasonably good value. I don't know how many vehicles can get in here. There's about 20 odd vehicles up there camped, so whether that's full or not, I don't know. But well worth checking out online. And that's Perlubie Beach. Just spoke to another couple who have been camping here, and they said it was $60 a night, which is a bit more expensive, and very difficult to get a spot on the beach. In fact, they tell me it's booked out this weekend, which is a long weekend here in South Australia. So that's the update on everything I know, at least, about Perlubie Beach. One of the guys I was talking to back at Perlubie Beach, which is probably about another half an hour, 40 minutes back away from Ceduna, he said he'd booked here for a couple of nights at Smoky Bay. So we might just take a quick detour and have a look. Just leaving Smoky Bay now. When you drive in here, it's just two caravan parks. Smoky Bay Caravan Park seems to be one of the big one, and you probably wouldn't be forgiven for thinking there's probably not much in the way of free camping in an area like this. Very touristy, but not so. Don't forget to use Google Chrome. Chrome is probably the largest search engine on the planet, so it is quite good. In Google Chrome will tell you there are free camps around here. Obviously I'm not going to go to them all. There's about 4 or 5. One down near the beach, but look, check out Google, just put in free camps Smoky Bay and it'll tell you where they are. After travelling through Perlubie Beach and Smoky Bay and through Ceduna, we've got some supplies. Ended up at the Ayre Caravan Park, which is about another 2.5–3 hours west of Ceduna. It's a pay to camp ground, of course, being a caravan park. When you get here, you will be greeted with a sign and a locked gate. So you just go to the store, which is like a roadhouse up there where the pumps are, and you pay for your camping. I paid $25 for an unpowered site. The site's all locked up, and I'll give you a key. Key will fit the gate and the showers. There are about 10 campsites. There are some cabins and some small cubicles, just basically a bed in them. The good thing, there are showers. It's worth to pay the extra, like pay the $25 and have a shower, because I of course don't have one of those except an outdoor shower, which is a bit pain sometimes. There's a dump point here, all the facilities you expect of a pay-as-you-camp caravan park. Just an interesting fact that a lot of people might not be aware of, but along the Nullabor there are many of these emergency airstrips. It's RFDS emergency airstrip. I've seen about 4 or 5 of them, and obviously they are where a plane in distress can land. I'm not sure what drivers are supposed to do when you get here though. There's no instructions what a driver should do. I accept I guess the most sensible thing to do will be look up in the air, look above and see if there's anyone in distress trying to land. They run for about 500 metres. We'll just run it through to the other end. I don't know what I would do if a plane landed in front of me other than stop. But I didn't know they were on the Ayre Highway. So if you didn't, there's something we both have learned. It's probably a little longer than 500 metres, probably close to a kilometre. I'm guessing these white markers on the roads indicate the end of the landing area. So there you go. Another interesting fact about the Nullabor. This is one of the many rest stops along the Ayre Highway, which you are allowed to camp at. This one's a little bit smaller than most. A lot of them you can penetrate the stop quite deeply. You can go a couple of 100 metres in off the road, down little tracks like this one. And there are quite a few of these, incidentally. I've passed about 5 or 6 of these today since leaving Yalata this morning. Of course they're free, there's no facilities here. A couple of them do have bins though, but certainly no toilets. Great for an overnight stop. And some of them penetrate quite deeply into the bush, surprisingly. So this does alleviate any worries you have about whether you can camp or not. Alleviates that quite easily. There are many of these, it's free, there's plenty of room in these off-road parking areas. Just excuse my UHF there. I like to leave my UHF on when doing a road like the Nullabor to pick up local chatter, maybe learn something you don't know. I'm not staying at this one tonight. I probably will stay at one of these. I was on the road today and around about 3 or 4 o'clock decided to start looking for some camping, and then realised in WA and had to wind the clock back 3 hours. So all of a sudden it was lunchtime again in WA. So I'm going to keep travelling a bit further into the evening and no doubt find a spot like this one. So I'm not going to go into too many of these. They're all very similar. As I said, there's plenty of them, so feel free to use them for an overnight stop.